Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different saga-wide implications as well as revelations in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about this movie is that we do know that there is going to be a lot of Jedi and Sith lore that will be used in a sense in order to evolve the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey in this story, that will also be used in order to change our perception on the entire Skywalker saga and everything that comes before it, which honestly guys may be a good or a bad thing. It's all a matter of how it's going to be executed on the big screen and how everything is going to be written out. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, specifically, a description of both Luke Skywalker and Rey sitting in front of each other, with a large Jedi structure said to be in the background. It's described that Luke is in the form of a Force ghost delivering secrets to Rey about his discoveries of the Jedi. The next describes Rey bringing up a dark power that she senses, where Luke describes that the power comes from the Beyond, which Luke is said to reveal to Rey that the Beyond was directly responsible for the divide between the Jedi and the Sith, and that the Jedi were obsessive over the power that it held, which created tension between the ancient Jedi and Sith many years ago. It's described that Luke Skywalker reveals to Rey that the Beyond was the origins of the current Jedi Code as well as the Sith Code that was eventually written by both groups. The sequence is said to be a scene in which Luke unveils new truths about the Jedi that will bring Rey on a certain path to developing a new type of order. However, it's unclear if this will be a Jedi Order or something entirely new. So, I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do, I guess you could say, fascinate me when it comes to how the Jedi and the Sith lore will be established into Episode 9 by JJ. Now, in this particular sequence, Luke Skywalker is revealing certain secrets about the Jedi as well as the Sith. And what's really, what really does stand out to me the most here is how Luke Skywalker is said to explain to Rey that the Jedi Code actually originated over in the Beyond. Basically, the Beyond was directly responsible for the origins of the Jedi and the Sith Code, and the great divide between both the Jedi and the Sith, and that the Jedi were very obsessive about the power of the Beyond, and it's exactly what created the whole entire Jedi Order, which hence, divided both the organizations, or both groups, if you will, of the Jedi and the Sith. Now, what's interesting about this is that it gives us a bit more depth on the history of the Jedi and the Sith and what they went through, thousands and thousands of years ago. And I think that this is exactly where the movie will tie into the new Star Wars trilogy. In case you guys did not know, some of the rewrites that were done for Episode 9 back in December and November of 2018 was to actually make this movie loosely connect to the upcoming new Star Wars trilogy by the creators of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. So you can really see what JJ's trying to do here. He's trying to really insert a little, a lot of nods of the Jedi and the Sith and how they're going to be established in future Star Wars movies, either in the form of the past or maybe in the form of the Old Republic, whatever have you. So, Luke Skywalker in the form of a Force ghost delivering these new truths and revelations about the Jedi to Rey. It's a big decision by Disney and Lucasfilm, and really guys, I gotta say, I'm not quite sure how I really feel about this, of how the Beyond is directly responsible for the great divide between both the Jedi and the Sith organization, as well as the origins of the ancient code written by both groups. Now, this to me, yes, this most definitely serves as a saga-wide implication. This basically changes how we view, the prequel trilogy era, as well as the originals and the sequels, and exactly where things are going, and how all of this information is going to be used for Rey in order to really create a new order going forward. Now, it's unclear on whether or not Rey is going to establish a new Jedi Order, quote-unquote, or a new order entirely. A lot of people are speculating that one of the meanings, because there are over 3 meanings to the Star Wars Episode 9 title, over 3, one of the meanings could very well have to do with the new order that Rey is actually going to create in Episode 9 that could very well have something to do with the name Skywalker, right? Where maybe instead of a Jedi, a person would be called a Skywalker if you take on the role of being a Force user and using a lightsaber and whatever have you. So that to me, I think, is a big risk if they really want to create a new order based on all of the new revelations that Luke Skywalker reveals to Rey. It really depends on how J.J. Abrams writes everything and how it's going to be executed, and exactly where he plans to take, both groups into the future, both the Jedi and the Sith, and how they're going to be used in future Star Wars movies by other creators. So that's the only thing that I'm a little on edge about is, of course, whether or not this is going to be a bad decision by Disney and Lucasfilm, and if it's really going to change our view on the prequels in a negative way, and/or the prequels, or the originals, I should say. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.